I feel so fugly right now. Every time it comes to October, November, December, I feel like that's when the YouTubers are like, oh, AdSense, gotta, make the content. But for me, 약간 부담이 돼. I get so fucking overstimulated already from just the thoughts of being like, oh, I need to make Halloween content. Oh. And then in the end, I end up just not even fucking doing shit. So that will explain why I have not been posting on YouTube like at all in October. This video, and just to get something out there for y'all, I'm just gonna kind of like, it's not like a glow, those like 24-hour glow thing? Is it like somewhat like that? But I'm just gonna take a shower, do my skincare, and put some makeup on so I can feel a little bit better, because girl, the Halloween weekend took me the out. If you're someone that typically doesn't go out, but for some reason you end up going out maybe 2 or even 3 days in a row, it feels like the longest days of your life. So this is gonna be a very chill video. Also, I kind of changed my lighting around a little bit, so it feels like, I'm giving myself a preview of the lights that I would not have seen because my ass is going to the pits of hell. Yeah. I think when I rearranged my bedroom to become my new studio office filming space room, subconsciously I wanted to be like those people that would always film in front of their window so they get the natural lighting, but I just don't think it's for me, girl. The lighting is always constantly changing outside, especially in the direction that my window's facing. So, girl, it's kind of annoying to get like control of the lighting. So I just went back to using my lights as I normally would. So yeah. I'm gonna go take a shower first and I'll be right back with you all. I think I wanna put some like cute little jazz music in the background for this video. Give it some like coffee shop vibes. Going to the cafe to study with my bestie, except my bestie is just sitting there doing his makeup. It'll be that. Go straight out the shower. Medicube sent this to me, but I don't think I should really properly use this. Actually, hold up. I have this like water mist from Daiso. I like to use this as like sometimes like the start of my skincare routine. Gonna put this on. Before I start drying my hair, I'm gonna use probably like my 6th, 7th bottle at this point. NINEMILA, their Calming Beer Scalp Serum. This has saved my scalp from getting so fucked, because I have thick, coarse Filipino hair, and I do all sorts of coloring, bleaching, down perms and all that, so my scalp gets real fucked up. And so this has saved my scalp from getting so damn oily. Because just like the face, when the skin is lacking moisture, it produces extra oil, and this I've noticed really helping a lot. Now I do have a lot of hair, so I do comb it back, and the way I apply it is I use the little pointy little applicator thing and just squeeze the bottle as I run it back, just in a line. Same thing here. And then the side. I've tried other scalp serums, but this is the one I keep going back to because it doesn't leave like this weird, thick, like strange residue in my fucking scalp. It just makes it hydrated. I'm sure there are other really good ones out there, but I don't know, it's the one I just keep coming back to because I can easily get it on Coupang or at Olive Young. Kind of just, either I'll use my fingers to run that, kind of massage that on my scalp, or if I'm really lazy, I'll just use this brush just to kind of scrape it across my scalp. It has this really nice cooling sensation, so like my head feels cold, which is really nice. What I love about it is the fucking smell, girl. It smells so good, and I notice even, because I don't wash my hair every day, and when I do wash my hair, even like the 3rd or even 4th day, I can still smell the serum in my hair, which is this really nice, like, refreshing smell. I don't know. That's been like my ride or die. And then for my actual hair, I'm gonna use this ADLONG No Wash Silk Form Treatment. The first time I ever tried this was because Exosome used it in my hair as a styling product, but I think it's actually technically a foam type leave-in conditioner type situation. I always make sure I start in the back, because usually when we are applying products to our hair, we always tend to start here in the front, but I have bangs, so if all the product goes here, it gets oily. So I always like to start in the back where the hair is the thickest, and then I'll move to the front. That sounds really fucking good too. I have been putting my hair through a lot of shit lately, like the coloring and the down perms, so it's been feeling extra dry lately, so that's as much as I can do to it. Normally when I'm using cotton pads, I like to use, or toner pads, I'll keep them on until they're completely dry. I'm gonna do my skincare now anyway, so I'm just gonna go right the fuck in. I'll use this one. I've been testing it lately. Numbuzin sent this to me a while ago, and I didn't actually, because I have so much shit, so I've only recently started using it, but I've been motivated to try it more because, girl, she's been popping up on my For You page, or some shit, it's all just PR stuff from people. But I know PDRN has been kind of popular, but you know what? If you ever purchased my Cielo, what was it called? It's so long. the skincare serum I made. Girl, if you're into PDRN now, and you did actually try that Cielo serum I made before, you were already trying PDRN because it had the salmon, you know, sperm shit in it before it became super popular as like an ingredient to use in like all the skincare now. So, honey, we were ahead of the game, honey. We were ahead of the game. Although salmon sperm as a skincare ingredient has been used in KB actually for many, many, many years, even before it became so popular like on social media. And, you know, IRL in real life. But I don't remember specifically saying it was like PDRN at the time. I just remember when I came across the ingredient, I remember Choi Aruke, that brand I used to work a lot with, their sunscreen actually had this product in it, I believe. And they were talking about like, oh, you know, they have this tightening ingredient in there that comes from salmon sperm. And when I first heard that, I was like, bitch, what the fuck? But you know, it's kbeauty, right? They'd be using that snail mucin, so can we really be surprised? Anyway, as you saw me, I applied it twice. I'm actually gonna do it one more time. Now, it's getting cold now. It's winter now, so, or sorry, fall. It's fall technically, but you know, in Korea, girl, there's no fall or spring here. It's either summer or fucking winter. And also just in general, now that it's gonna be really dry and cold outside, and then all the stores, cafes, everything, they're gonna be cranking up their heaters so it's hot and dry inside. Honestly, girl, more so than looking for new skincare products and shit, just take your toner and just layer it, girl. Remember back in the day when chill skin toner was a thing? 7 skin toner, when you would apply your fucking toner like 7 times? You don't have to do 7, I don't do 7, I do maybe 3, maximum 4, but very small layers, very thin layers too, because it'd be like dumping that shit out on your hands. And look at this, that's just the toner. It's hard to show on camera, but it's something you can feel. Our skin type tends to have a lot of trouble holding onto moisture, and it's the skin type I feel like is the most affected by like outside factors. Again, like the heating, the cooling, the humidity levels outside. So try laying your toner. And again, don't use too much because when you use smaller, thinner layers, they absorb so much quicker. So you can do your 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever layers much quicker, much faster than you doing like a shit ton at first and just because then you gotta keep like, you know, patting it in, waiting for it to absorb. But at that point, a lot of it is just like extra shit sitting on your skin and you're just kind of like evaporating off your face with your hands, you know? To be honest, at this point, this is my nighttime skincare routine. So in that number 9 line, they also have the NAD Plus Retinol Volumetox Eye Cream. It's a whole fucking mouthful, girl. You push this little bit right here and you can get your product. I'm only using the tiniest amount because this is really rich. If I put too much on, it would just make it'll be too much for the makeup and it will look cakey or crease more. Not that I'm going anywhere after this. It is 7 in the evening already. And then this is gonna be like my, actually, you know what, let's do this. I'm sure you guys have seen this, especially if you follow HEMEKO. You might have seen this on your timeline. These HAUA Hyaluronic PDRN Orb Serum. Now, originally, HAUA, is that how you say the fucking print? HAUA. Originally, they had this serum, which I actually really like. It's the Bio-Nymph Youth Serum, and it's basically, I mean, it's like a typical serum ampule, very, very glowy, very very thick. So for me, I only use a tiny bit. I'll do a toner, do this, and then I get that really nice youthful glow. It felt like it was a little bit heavy for the summer though, so I didn't use it that much during the really hot season. But I believe they're discontinuing this to make room for this. But with these, it's basically little salmon sperm balls. The whole concept is that you kind of get as many as you need. I think there was like a chart that they have like, oh, if you have really dry skin, use 5 or something. If you have oily skin, use 2 or I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't like this as much as the original youth serum that they had, simply because I do find this method of applying your serum a little bit cumbersome. It's great for social media, like, oh, you can squish the balls and oh my God, Korea's living in 2050. Girl, they're so small and like slippery that they're really hard. Like, you gotta cup your hand and kind of and squish them, which at that point, if I was just using this, all you have to do is and then swipe it on. But anyway, I actually did try the original sort of like test product of this back when they were like reformulating and redeveloping it. And girl, the final product is so much better than the previous version of this that I tried. That shit, girl, I think I still have it too. Not only was it not as moisturizing as this one, it was crumbly, it was kind of dry, and it didn't really do anything for my skin. So I was like, HEMEKO, HAUA, what are we doing? You guys know, more so than like the whole ingredients thing for me, I'm more of like a textural person. Honestly, I think any skin type can use this, but for each skin type, I'll kind of use it differently. If you have very dry skin, you can include this as just like part of your serum step. If you have oily skin, I would use this just at night because it can be a little bit heavy, especially if you live in a climate that is very humid and hot. Now for me, being dehydrated, in the summer when it's hot and humid, I would use this at night. But now that the weather's cooler, I can use it at the end of my toner as almost like my moisturizer. moisturizer. Forget I said hydrating. I would say it's more moisturizing because it's quite a thick serum type of texture. So I think it's great for coating the skin in moisture and locking in that sort of watery texture I got from my toner. So honestly, if you're a makeup wearer, I think this is a great way to kind of prep the skin for moisture. Of course, you still want to use sunscreen, right? But I find this totally sufficient for a makeup day. In the colder weather, I do think in the hot, humid weather, this would be too much. You know what, since we're on this PDRN sort of thing, let's use the Medicube PDRN Lip Sleeping Mask. Girl, PDRN, it's like the new fucking snail mousse and shit. Actually, a lot of people that come to me for makeup lessons, they come to Korea to do a lot of like skin treatments and stuff, and they'll ask me like, oh, what do I do? I don't know what I want. They're like, first of all, I'm like, you don't know what you want? Should you really be going to the clinic if you don't know what you want? I'm also being told by a lot of people that they're coming here to do Regiran, like the version of PDRN that you inject into your face. And girl, I don't know about that. I haven't done it myself. I don't think I've done it before. So I can't really give an opinion on that, but anyway, let me put on some actual clothes and get out of this bathrobe real quick. Okay, that feels so much better. My friend Yechan used this on me the other day for one of our videos, so 좀 오랜만에 써볼게. These nails, I don't know. Actually, speaking of Little Angel, I got my nails done a few weeks ago. You can see that the regrowth is crazy. But I got inspired by these like Little Angel, like the packaging from that collection. I went to the person that always did my nails. I was like, if I just give you these, not nail references, but if I gave you photos, like reference photos of like art or whatever, or like packaging of something, could you create nails that give the vibe of them? And this is what it came up with. And girl, he did such a good job, but like it's getting too long for me now. Like when it starts to grow past my finger like this, I cannot handle it, girl. 너무 찝찝해. Actually, I was watching Miss Pony. Love her down, love her to death. She posted a video recently, and that video kind of inspired me to, oh my god, I need to shave. I didn't fucking shave. Actually, no, I did shave earlier. It just grew back so fast. Yeah, Miss Pony uploaded a video and kind of inspired me to do makeup or film like a makeup video. And actually, she was using a lot of flower nose stuff, so I was like, huh. And she actually used one of the Little Angel eyeshadow palettes, so I was like, it just got me in the mood to put makeup on myself, even though it's already fucking nighttime. Yeah, although this is called a Dewy Hydrating Primer, like you need to get your skincare in check and balance out with your skin type in order for this to give that hydrating effect. Because of the texture itself, it's not like a moisturizer feeling. It's kind of like a watery gel cream. So I feel like if your skin is particularly drier and your makeup is gonna be very matte, or you live in an environment that's very dry, your skin could end up looking dry as well, to be honest. For base makeup, I also do want something more on the dewy side. I'm gonna use this. I used this as well the other day and I fell in love with it again, girl. I've always liked this, but I'll be trying different things, and every time I go back to this one, girl, it reminds me why I like it so much. They kind of expanded the shade range on this, but I don't think they made like the deeper colors. So if you happen to be in Korea and you're able to test this out, I do really recommend this for specifically like dehydrated skin. It's one of those hydrating mesh cushions, so I wouldn't recommend it for really oily skin, but if your skin is drier or dehydrated, I do recommend it because it's very hydrating. Inside of here, it's like this sort of like almost like a cream foundation. So I think it does a better job than some of the other cushions at giving you that sort of creamy look to the skin. This is how I feel about a lot of mesh cushions anyway. I will always choose a mesh cushion over a sponge cushion foundation if I can, because I think a lot of mesh cushions are quite closer to liquid foundations than traditional sponge cushion foundations. Because usually when you're formulating a foundation to be put into a cushion foundation, you have to formulate it quite thinly so that it can get into the sponge. But I've noticed with mesh cushions, because it's technically just this mesh net hovering above, the product itself, they can make the liquid foundation inside more hydrating, I guess, more thick and creamy in a way, which I've always preferred for my skin type. I'm using the shade 23N Sand, by the way. Also, I noticed that this one doesn't really oxidize like the traditional red one does. If you want a super dewy cushion, I'd recommend their silver one, the Massive Aura cushion. But if you want something that's purely just hydrating, but doesn't have like a super like, clean girl like finish, like super oily looking, then I do think their crystal mesh cushion is better because it gives you that sort of soft, creamy look rather than like that glowy. I mean, this is still glowy, but I feel like this is super glowy. Momo's Workshop has some new sponges that's supposed to be inspired by like school supplies and like school club activities or whatever. So this is their little pencil one, but they did give me a code to use. Momo's Workshop is this makeup tool brand that's based in China, and they make a lot of my cute this little thing that I always be using. And they contacted me, sent me their new collection, and of course I accepted it. And I filmed the whole unboxing or whatever for my TikTok. But if you ever want to buy anything from them, because they have really good sponges, I particularly like their. Actually, I should have used this one. These thick ass fucking sponges, but this one is is pointier, so it's easier to get into little bits like this. So yeah, if you ever get interested in them and want to buy something, you can use my code. Remember that these types of sponges are really good for blending in product rather than like I wouldn't pump out and then pick it up with a sponge and put it on. I would spread the foundation or concealer on first with either a brush or my fingers, and then I would use it to pat in. I'm sorry guys, I know my hair is in my face right now, but if I clip it up, especially now since I took a shower and so my hair's a little bit damp, if I clip it up and it dries like that, it will look all wonky, and I like my hair to dry downward, so 양해 부탁드립니다. I hope for your understanding. Nice. Now with the weather getting colder, I'm probably gonna resort to these pressed powders and a brush more often these days because the thing is with puffs, and especially puffs and loose powders, that's great for really oily skin and like really mattifying because that shit will like suck the oil straight from inside your skin. But this is more so gonna just take off the excess shine on the surface, which might be better for me for the colder weather. And on a flat powder brush, I use that for under the eyes. Now I'm gonna put down my little NYX Wednesday contour palette for now and go for something a little bit more just like cool toned. I'm gonna use my little Ondine. Haven't used her in a while. I was obsessed, and I still am obsessed with that fucking contour palette from NYX, but I think my skin got a little bit paler, and so that one is starting to look a little bit too dark for me. Actually, I was deciding if I wanted to, for the backlight that I have over here, I was deciding if I wanted this or if I want it more like this. I feel like that's also kind of it's giving interrogation, it's giving film noir, especially with this photograph in the background. I don't know though. I do kind of like the Jesus lighting though. Also adding some of that contour out here on my outer socket here. And then I do think the pans on this are a little bit too small for the face contour brush I want to use, so I'm gonna just use my Daiso shading, which you don't need this many shading products. Okay, my little hickeys are almost gone. I posted a video on my TikTok and Instagram, me trying to cover. Someone was like, wouldn't a turtleneck be better? Which honestly, yes, that makes sense. Wear a turtleneck, but at the time that I got the hickeys, it was still like it just recently got really cold. But even that, I don't think it's cold enough for me to wear what is this hair? It's 007. I don't think it's cold enough for a turtleneck, I feel like. And also, I don't like myself in turtlenecks. My neck is really fucking long, and I feel like there's no turtleneck sweater out there that's long enough to fucking cover this shit up. So I was like, let me just, and you know, I was just making content. That's really what it was. I was just making content. Why cover that up with the turtleneck when I can just make a video of me attempting to cover it with concealer? It wasn't that serious of a video. Oh shit, also my lips, girl. Gotta do my lips. Lip and hip. Girl, Hyuna, what the hell happened to Hyuna? 우리 Hyuna 언니. For me, it's more so the fact that I really don't like her music that she's been coming out with. I just have not been feeling it. Her first music with @area, that her new company, I was totally feeling, but then, I don't know. Oh my god, also, speaking of Hyuna, that music from like AOA's mini skirt has been going super viral again lately. Interestingly, because I do get content from Asia and I do get content from the West. In America, everyone is doing that one choreography. It's not the original choreography to mini skirt, but it's like this one this choreographer made. It's been going kind of viral with that. But in Korea, it's been going viral for like this other thing. It's like my waist, my pelvis can't stop, and so they're literally just like like while they're shaking their hips. It got me thinking, because I'll get videos of like, oh, other cunty songs by the same producer of Minister, which is, as we all know, Brave Brothers. Funny, because there's that Chinese guy that made that vocal cover of Miniskirt that went really, really viral, and people will use that sound over videos of like edits of like really handsome K-pop idols. I was thinking Brave Brothers should totally lean into that sound for DKB. Right now, DKB is sort of like in their sad boy emo kind of like punk rock era, which is fine too, but I don't know, I feel like what you could do with something, it doesn't have to sound exactly like, you know, miniskirt or whatever, but that's sort of like jazzy. What genre is that? We all just call like second, third gen K-pop, but like what specific genre is a miniskirt? DKB is very much a performance-based group, and I feel like they could totally kill it with a sassy little kind of choreography to that kind of music. I've been a BB since like the beginning, but for me, honestly, some of their best work was always either their more R&B type of acoustic type of stuff. I was never super into like their more rocky stuff. I don't know. I just feel like if they ever did that sort of concept, they would totally kill it. I forgot to do my concealer under my eyes, so I'm just gonna do it now with powder foundation. To be honest, you don't really see it if I'm just have my head like this, but you can really see see it when it's like this. I mean, even if I do conceal it with a powder or whatever, if I tilt my head down, you're still gonna be able to see it anyway. So this is more so for just correcting any discoloration. So if you have these troughs under your eyes like I do, I wouldn't worry so much. I mean, it does help a little bit, but I wouldn't like stress out over the under eyes because I don't know if I said before, I do like a little bit of color under the eyes. You can also use your blush, especially if it's more on the warmer side, kind of underneath your eyes, and that also gives you a sort of color correcting effect as well. It doesn't always have to be just concealer. Oh my god, speaking, sorry, I can't have miniskirt. There's a creator, I believe he's actually in South Korea right now, but there's a creator, he said that he went to Itaewon one night and he was like, can somebody help me find this song? This is how it goes. And he was like, and which, you know, in the end, we found out there was actually miniskirt by AOA, but everyone in the fucking comment section of the original video where he was asking, everyone thought it was Super by 17. And I was like, what part of Super does it sound like? Girl, I feel like people really just be saying anything these days. Also, I've noticed if you have the sort of dark circles like I do, where it's like a dip in the skin, it really helps to conceal redness right here on this very part of the skin. Because I noticed the combination of the redness here and the discoloration of the dark circle here next to each other really gives that like sunken feeling. Again, sorry for my bangs, they're just in my face. For my blush, you know, I'm really just getting inspiration from Miss Pony because she does like really mauve-y look, which I love. And also I was organizing my eyeshadow palette drawer and I came across this again. Love this color story. So I don't know why I don't use it more often in my daily makeup, girl. So let me get a blush that's sort of like probably similar vibes. Actually, let's do this. I'm gonna use two blushes. I'm gonna use this one from Flower Nose from the recent collection, the Sweetie Bear collection, number 3, which I don't know what the name of the fucking color is because it's in Chinese right now. But from amongst the 5 blushes they had, it's the most muted pink one, which I did say in my review for the video is the one that looks the best on me for my personal color, which is Soft Summer as a base. Because I think I want to use a slightly darker blush. And I'm actually gonna put it more out here on like this part of my cheek because the color I'm gonna use afterwards is gonna be a lot darker. And even during my makeup lessons, I always say if you're gonna use a darker blush, I think keeping it out here on the sides is a lot more flattering than, you know, I do love like a nice ruddy dark blush here, but that's if I'm doing a freckle look. Today's makeup, I want to look more moody, I guess. So I'm almost like mixing it with my contour on the sides of my face. So on the chin here, on the nose. And then for the actual point color, I'm gonna use this one I've used before, Perfumer from Dandelions. Because usually when you think of like ruddy, darker blush, they tend to be like the typical like brownie reds and oranges that we associate with warm tone makeup, you know, that you would use for freckly makeup. But I feel like if you're more neutral or slightly on the cool tone side, I do think this sort of tone gives you that look, but it's not so orange. But this is way, way, way more pigmented than a lot of the other blushes I have in my collection. So I'm using a very loose brush and tapping off all of the excess. Because immediately you can see, hopefully, how much deeper that color is. I'm gonna take it underneath. Oh, which I forgot to do my Exosome. This isn't necessarily the most smooth sort of powder because we know a lot of Asian like cbeauty or kbeauty blushes are really smooth and nice and blendable, but they kind of lack in the pigment department. But this one is from an American indie makeup brand, so the pigment is girl. It's like really there. Sometimes if you're pushing for more pigment, you are sacrificing blendability application, and vice versa. If you're trying to get that really super smooth blendable texture, sometimes you sacrifice pigment. So this one, that's why I made sure to put on a base blush first, and then again, use a very specific type of blush brush so that it goes on smoother. But these are the two together. You can see they're kind of similar color families. So I'm gonna go in with this shade right here, just all over the lid, really blending it pretty high. Oh my god, the other day, actually on the night of Halloween, like actual Halloween night, I went to go to Hongdae again to go drink with my friend. When the night was, when we felt like the night was pretty much over and we were going back home, there was some like random guy. First of all, very nice build, very smooth, creamy looking skin. But then I was like, why is there this shirtless, hot man standing on the street? And he was a girl. Of course, I was like, oh, he's probably drunk, and he probably was. But the behavior was giving like also on drugs. Like he was giving kind of high because it wasn't just like, you know, we were like questioning him and asking him like, you know, where's your friends? Where's your shirt? Where's your phone? Because he didn't have his shirt. He didn't have his phone on him. He didn't have his wallet. He straight up was just his hot self with his glasses and his pants and shoes. So I was like, what the fuck is happening? So my friend Sok-chan went up to him to go see what the fuck was up. Actually was trying to offer him some help, but the guy was like not answering really. He kept being like, 아니 근데 아니 근데 what? 아니 근데 what? So we're trying to like interrogate. We're trying to like question the dude. Like, where's your friends? Like, what's happening? But got no answers. So in the end, the police came by, took him away to try and offer him assistance because nothing was happening with Sok-chan was trying to get any information from him. I am sorry to this man. I don't know who this man is, but he was giving cute little beefcake. Oh, although it says a lot about society when we're willing to help someone that's in a situation like that when they're more physically attractive. That's, girl, not my horse self popping out again, girl. Dipping into this deep muted mauve shade here. So fucking pretty. And then I'm gonna use this to line my eyes. I'm thinking for my lower lash line, I'm only gonna do the inner 1/3. I'm afraid if I take this really dark shade all the way across, it might look really 답답해 보여. Like a little bit stuffy. Girl, I never know how to fucking translate that word into English, 답답해. But you often see, like if a Korean company or YouTuber or creator or whatever is translating it themselves, they always use the word stuffy, which I feel like is not the right word to use. So if you're studying Korean and you figure out the meaning of 답답해, then I feel like you're making good progress. There's several words I feel like that way in Korean. 답답해, the use of the word, like it's not a word, but it's like a grammatical thing. Don't ask me about grammar. English was my worst subject, so things like adjectives and verbs and adverbs, girl, don't ask me. But when you learn to use the ending 잖아, 잖아요, I feel like when you are able to speak Korean, like 아니 그렇게 했잖아. When you're able to use that, I feel like, girl, you're making good progress. You're making good progress. Oh, actually, you know what? I want to highlight my inner corner. Oh, that might have been too much. I'm gonna use the really pale shade in here. And then just go back with the contour I used for my nose earlier just to fix this part right here. So the light highlight part isn't too large. And then I'll use the shimmer in here. I love this one right here. I don't know how to describe it. It's like a dirty brownie mauve shade, but I'm gonna use this one right here because I don't know. 그냥. Also, that's another reason why I changed my lighting, because before my two studio lighting things were on my exact sides right here, which is fine or whatever. It's really good at filling the room with light, but it doesn't do a very good job of showing like shimmers, whereas putting the one direct light above me up here is really good at showing that shimmer. For my edges, I'm gonna take this pencil that Eddie got me from Sweet Mint and just 여기 살짝. If you are interested in doing 애교살 makeup, but your eyes, you don't like if your face is just still and you have the 애교살, you can do what I'm doing now. But if you have the type of eyes where it's like more flat underneath, or even if you smile, you don't really get 애교살, most of the time for eyes like that, if I'm gonna do 애교살 makeup, I don't really go in the middle here with like a concealer or highlighting eyeshadow or whatever. I go more so on the inner corner here. So from like, you see how I highlighted the inner corner here? I would take that almost into the first 1/3, and that's as much 애교살 as you can do. You almost get the effect of like an 애교살, but without it looking too like overdone or fake. Because usually if your under eyes are quite flat underneath and you don't naturally have 애교살, what you often have is like a lot of little fine lines. So I think doing it more in the inner corner here would be better for your eye shape if you don't naturally have 애교살. You know what I need? I also need lenses. That's what I need. I'm scared these might make me look too crazy, but low key, I feel like with this lighting setup, it might look okay. Girl, it's giving reptile. Nope. I really want those lenses that Pony had. I'm such a Pony fan, y'all. She was wearing a pair that looked so beautiful. They were like those highlighting lenses where one part of the lens is highlighted, but you know, those became very popular when they first started coming out. But as we know, a big issue with them was that the highlight part would like turn around in your eye. So it can look like your eyes are kind of cross-eyed sometimes. But recently, apparently the brand Vivienne Westwood, which I believe we know her as like a fashion house, she does make lenses actually. She made a version of those highlighted lenses, which actually on one side, like the highlighted part is supposed to be weighted, or that part is a little bit thicker than the rest of the lens, so that it prevents it from turning around in your eye. And I heard apparently that they're actually quite comfortable. I want to buy those, but I believe to get Vivienne Westwood, you do have to like order them, especially, you can't just like go in store to pick them up. I think you have to order them online and have them sent to a glasses shop nearby in your neighborhood so you can go and pick it up. Let's use these ones. These are just some like basic ass circle lens looking ass lenses, but this is my dear thing, mascara. Well, you know what? I actually got these from Daiso recently and I low-key want to try these. But when I saw this, I was like, oh my God, these look so pretty. Oh, it's a really thin formula. The applicator is like this tiny little stick. This one is number 2, Bloom Pink. Oh, hell no. That's so pretty. Oh my God, that was like the worst swatch ever. I'm so sorry. It's right here. Erase. Oh, holy shit. Okay, that really fucking worked. Although yeah, it's really fucking wet. 안녕하세요. Another thing I found from Sonepok, because they went really viral, that their Daiso brand, Arty Spread Color Bomb. They're supposed to be like a dupe of the Chanel one, because the Chanel, this type of thing they had was quite popular, so they came out with like a dupe in a way. But I saw that they had highlighters. Arty Spread Highlighter Bomb. I got 2 shades. Number 3, Moonrise. Woo! Very blendable. And also, the texture itself is so good for putting on top of, because usually when you have like those like balm type of highlighters, putting them on top of like powder of some kind, like she can really fuck that shit up because it's so moist. But this one is almost like a, and it dries down to like a powder. This is the shade Sunrise. Oh my God. Oh my God, that is fucking beautiful. And look at that shimmering glitter, y'all. Probably not for everyone. Because it's cream to powder, it'd be perfect for eyes, cheeks, whatever. The whole concept of the brand, even for Sonepok, the brand back in the day, for makeup artists, which honestly, in my personal opinion, a lot of times the average person is not gonna be really into it, because I feel like a lot of people in Korea and people that like K-beauty really want the shit that's like, it's for this, and I think the most that people get into is maybe something like the Free Pudding Pot, where you can use it for your cheek or your lip. But other than that, when it's something like where it's like, oh, it's for makeup artists, not the average person is not a makeup artist. Maybe unless they find the one specific thing they'll use it for. Any products that are overly difficult to use, I think a lot of people are kind of just like, eh. Let's use number 3, Moonrise, because the other one was a little bit too shimmery and we already got shimmer on the lid, so. Oh my God, do you see that pink beam? Oh, and I do think the shimmers kind of spread out really beautifully, so you don't get too much of that line of demarcation, which I feel like you can get with something that's like a really moisturizing balm type highlighter. Because for me, I like to powder my skin, right? So if it's like matte and then you can see clearly where it's like matte and then all of a sudden like juicy. Oh. Honestly, this is what I wish the because FUGLY has their pudding pot highlighter thing. This is what I wish it was. The right amount of moisture that spreads out really easily and dries down to a powder. Yeah. Honestly, I wish I used this one on the eyes. How about we try a little bit? There's already shimmer in my eye, but whatever. And this is what? Less than $5? Girl, I'm so happy about all the awesome makeup that's in Daiso, but I'm also sad because there's such a demand from brands wanting to put their shit in Daiso that we're losing space for the stuff that was already great and there to begin with. Not every Daiso is able to expand their beauty section, right? Because there's a lot of Daisos that are quite small already. So if you have all these beauty brands wanting to get in there, you can really only find a lot of the cool new stuff in the bigger Daisos, which could be harder to get. And because there won't be as many locations like that, they get sold out much quicker, so I don't know. Shall we finish off with the lips? I bought a bunch of new cool lippies from Hintor. They came out with a collection of these really fucking muted ass, like there's even a black gloss, which girl, this is pigmented as fuck, bitch. But what really interested me was these straight up like gray lippies, and I wanted to use these. Yeah. Now this one isn't ultra pigmented, which I don't completely hate. It just takes on that redness. And in the middle of that, this is something I didn't originally mean to buy, but I've noticed whenever I order anything from Hintor, they always send like random lippies along with my package. So they sent me a bunch of these colors, which I guess they weren't being sold, so they included it as free. Actually, you know what I want to do? Hold on, let me take all that off. The glosses are quite thin, so they do come off quite easily. So love the colors, but it's not going to be like one of your long wearing ones. I actually want to use a lip pencil. Hold on. I'm going to use this salmon beige color from Heart Percent. And then I'll use the gray and the pink gloss. W04 here, I might use this. I want it to look a little darker. Huh. I don't know how I feel about this look. But you know what? That's okay. That's totally okay. That's what this is all about, girl. We're figuring this shit out together. I'm gonna try this matte tint from Entropy. I believe they made this in collaboration with Exosome, Taeyeon's makeup artist, and I think previously Chang Won-young's makeup artist. Garnet Gem, again from Entropy. I like that one more, but it's too warm. Hold up. You know, I should have used this one. Bro, I'm crashing the fuck out. This is Violet Gem from Entropy. Yes. Okay, ignore that last one. This is the one I should have used. It's like more in line with the tones on my eyes. Girl, that was a motherfucking journey. But I'm happy with the look that we got. Actually, this is the perfect sort of fall or winter makeup for anybody that's like a soft tone or a deep tone. Specifically cool tone. If you wanted to do a warm tone version of this, rather than going for like let me show you. If this is the cool version, which is what I did, this would be a great warm tone version. And basically make everything not so much rosy, but make it more of like that rich, sort of warm mapley vibe. Anyway, the main point is, I feel less fugly. I hope you enjoyed our little get ready with me date, and I'll see you around for the next video. Bye-bye!